The Half-Life series is full of all manner of strange and dangerous alien creatures, the most common and iconic among them being the headcrab. These parasitic organisms pose a significant threat to other species, but like many Earth-born animals, they can be tamed. The one known example of this happening, a pet headcrab named Hedy Lamarr, teaches us a lot about her species.
Here we go. Ah! Damn it, get it off me!
Lamarr, there you
I
are.
thought you got rid of that pest.
Certainly not. Never fear, Gordon. She's debeaked and completely harmless. The worst she might do is attempt to couple with your head, fruitlessly.
Get that thing away from me!
Here, my pet. Hop up. No, not up there. No, no. Careful, Lamarr. Those are quite fragile. Oh, fie. It'll be another week before I can coax her out of there.
Yeah, longer if we're lucky.
Barney, you're not an animal person.
Headcrabs are omnivorous parasitoids from the interdimensional border world Xen, meaning they are organisms whose parasitic strategy comes at the expense of their hosts to such a degree it eventually results in their death. Specifically, they latch onto heads in order to hijack the nervous system of their host to control their bodies. This has led to their victims being referred to as headcrab zombies. They are animalistic in nature, unlike some other alien species which have shown higher levels of intelligence, similar to humans. It is unknown when humans first made contact with this species, but it is highly indicated they were originally captured and brought back to Earth in highly controlled and secured laboratory conditions at the Black Mesa Research Facility in New Mexico. The Black Mesa incident would eventually lead to these creatures spawning outside of containment across the research facility and surrounding environs. This cataclysmic quantum event was due to a failed science experiment involving the material analysis of a crystalline structure known as sample GG3883 that was discovered during one of many exploratory expeditions to Xen. When the sample was put into an anti-mass spectrometer for analysis, it began vibrating at a resonance frequency strong enough to start merging our dimension with that of Xen. This was a theorized worst-case scenario known as a resonance cascade. This allowed many alien species to start spawning across the research facility, including headcrabs. The impact of this disaster would later start spreading across the world and became extreme enough to cause a strange atmospheric phenomenon known as portal storms. This allowed many alien species to appear across the planet and provided an opportunity for an interdimensional empire known as the Combine to invade and subjugate Earth. Hedy Lamarr was one such headcrab that would unwittingly find herself on Earth in the aftermath of the Black Mesa incident, but unlike nearly every other member of her species that endured a similar fate, Lamarr would become tamed by former Black Mesa scientist Dr. Isaac Kleiner and kept as his pet in a secret laboratory located in the likely Eastern European metropolitan area known as City 17. Lamarr is sometimes said to be domesticated, but this isn't technically correct given she comes from a wild species. Domestication is a multi-generational process in which humans shape the genetic course of a species for their own benefit. The first known animal humans domesticated are dogs, and this was done by influencing the evolutionary course of wolves. But Lamarr has certainly been tamed, at least to some degree. Lamarr was first introduced in the early chapters of Half-Life 2 shortly after Gordon Freeman arrived at Kleiner's lab. We learned several interesting things straight away, such as the suggestion that she is now harmless, being debeaked. We also learned headcrabs can be omnivores, are able to recognize different people, and have a sense of direction. But even just the fact she can be somewhat trained also reveals a great deal when it comes to memory and intelligence. Kleiner doesn't specifically state what role the beak plays in the process of controlling a host, but given that it was revealed much earlier that headcrabs control their host by hijacking their nervous system, it can be assumed the beak is used to break through the skull or upper spinal cord to more directly connect to the nervous system. This is further supported by the fact the beak cannot be seen, meaning it is likely located within the inner cavity that is used to wrap around the heads of their victims. This may also explain why often the host appears to still be conscious despite losing control of their body. The headcrab may use the beak to bypass the brain completely by connecting to the spinal cord. With the brain still active but no longer in control of the body, the host is essentially trapped in their own head while their body gets puppeted around. Kleiner being able to train her also suggests headcrabs possess episodic-like memory. This memory system can be seen in many real-life animals and describes the ability to encode and retrieve information about what occurred during an event as well as when and where it happened. It's comparable to human episodic memory, but is distinct in that there's currently no way of knowing whether or not this form of remembering is accompanied by conscious recollection. Lamar also appears to be sentient in her ability to perceive and feel things. This level of intelligence is not uncommon among many real-life animals, but the degree to which episodic-like memory and sentience occurs depends on the animal, with some showing a strong ability to feel and recall past events, and others showing that less. There are also animals that don't appear to have any form of episodic-like memory. Lamar being trained but still showing signs of animalistic aggression and independence would not be uncommon for first-generation tamed animals. Lamar seemingly being able to make distinctions between different people further supports this by suggesting headcrabs also possess recognition. She demonstrates this by being friendly to Kleiner while also being hostile or indifferent to others depending on their past behavior. For instance, it is suggested Barney has long been opposed to her being kept as a pet, to which she responds by being the most hostile towards him. She even appeared to set up an ambush attack for him. Headcrabs have already been demonstrated to be ambush predators. Interestingly enough, Alex Vance seems much more calm around Lamar and even refers to her as an animal. This may be due to her younger age, as she would have been too young to remember a world before headcrabs, so their very existence may just be a simple fact of life for her like any other wild animal. Lamar gets her name from actress and scientist Hedy Lamarr. While not confirmed, this does suggest she is a female of her species. This is interesting since one other female has been shown to exist in their species in the form of the gonarch. This creature was essentially a fully matured mother headcrab, but at the same time no headcrab has been suggested to be male. With only 2 examples, it cannot be determined whether or not there are male headcrabs, but it is actually possible for a species to be all female, like in the case of the desert grassland whiptail lizard. This species is able to reproduce without males through a process known as parthenogenesis. Lamar accidentally being teleported far away from the lab further supports these observed behaviors and intelligences. It is not known how far she was sent, but the general wasteland appearance suggests she was teleported at least outside of City 17, but likely much further. This is interesting because Lamar reappears alongside Kleiner about a week later. It is highly unlikely someone retrieved her, given Kleiner appeared to be the only one that actually cared about her, and the large population of headcrabs outside of the city would make her nearly impossible to spot. This means she more than likely found her own way back to the lab. This further supports some form of emotional connection to Kleiner, episodic-like memory, and a strong sense of direction, though the exact means she used to get back to the lab is unknown. Kleiner around this time makes an offhand comment about Lamar being afraid of the crowbar Gordon Freeman was wielding. While this line could easily be dismissed as a humorous comment from a character that often serves as comic relief, if taken seriously, it suggests something profound about the lifespans of headcrabs. This is because Freeman has used his crowbar to kill countless headcrabs, but he wasn't carrying it during his previous encounter with Lamar, so she would have no context to know that. Unless Freeman unknowingly crossed paths with her previously, and the only time that could have happened was many years earlier during the Black Mesa incident. But there is a major issue that makes this possibility unlikely. That being Black Mesa and the likely location of C-17 are across the world from each other, so it's unlikely she could have made the journey herself, or even that she was smuggled by Kleiner given the portal storms, social unrest, and Combine invasion that occurred in the preceding years, as well as all the military checkpoints, force relocations, and oppressive controls that came with that. In all likelihood, Kleiner captured her after already setting up a base of operations within City 17. The exact reason for why he took it upon himself to train her is unknown, but given he is a scientist, it may have started as an experiment that later led to a genuine emotional bond. However, the idea that she was present at Black Mesa cannot be ruled out completely, and the line about the crowbar may suggest that is actually what occurred. Kleiner also appears to have put her on a vegetarian diet, as indicated by a note he left himself to get more watermelon for her. But headcrab zombies were previously shown to consume meat when they were found eating the bodies of dead Black Mesa scientists. Kleiner showing genuine care for her would suggest he wouldn't put her on a diet that would cause health issues. This means headcrabs can be omnivores, though it is unknown whether this is a preferred diet or just simply a behavior that can be taught. But the fact headcrabs come from Xen suggests they naturally prefer either meat or vegetation. This is because the border world is a highly dangerous environment with many predators that appear to be higher on the food chain than headcrabs. This could mean headcrabs have adapted to have a diverse diet in order to survive. Lamar has also revealed how much headcrabs might weigh. Much later in the series, the rebels regroup at the White Forest missile silo base with the aim of launching a satellite rocket to neutralize a portal storm before the Combine stationed on Earth could use it to connect with the larger forces in order to re-establish lines of communication, supplies, and reinforcements. Lamar is seen entering the rocket a little before Kleiner notices a payload anomaly of 8.5 pounds.
Wait a moment. I'm seeing a payload anomaly of approximately 8.5 pounds.
Well, that's within tolerance. Certainly not worth scuttling.
We're back.
At last.
Gordon.
Lamar exists as a strong reminder that headcrabs are not so much monsters as they are simply wild animals. The Black Mesa incident was an extreme and unique cosmic event, but it can also be seen as a man-made natural disaster. And like many natural disasters, wild animals can become displaced into human populations, resulting in aggression and danger. In that sense, headcrabs are simply just trying to survive extreme circumstances beyond their control. While the feeling of people like Barney is understandable given he witnessed these creatures kill many of his friends and co-workers, Lamar was lucky enough to find a human who didn't see her as a monster.